the thing is, it wasn't just you that thought the Russian army was too strong, was very strong. Putin himself did. That was his miscalculation.
Yes,
he believed what his flunkies were telling him. And this is the problem. You point out there's no Politburo. Well, that also means, to replace him, it also means there's no natural successor that people can look to either to replace him. So I think he might be there for a little while yet. But here's the thing. This is going to be a shock to China's dictator, Xi Jinping. He's backed Putin. In March, he went to Moscow to show his support. He told Putin the two of them were going to change the world. Have a listen to this.
Yes.
Это как раз сейчас перемены, которые не было в течение 100 лет. Там, где вместе двигаем эти перемены. Перекиньте, пожалуйста, дорогой друг.
So there's going to be big changes. You and I are going to do it. That now looks like two deluded men overestimating their power. Xi as well. How do you think China's going to react to what's happened to Russia over the weekend?
If I was Xi Jinping, I'd be taking a very careful note and lesson of how poorly the Russian military have worked and how a dictator like Putin, and Xi Jinping is one also, has surrounded himself by yes men, and no women, of course, and his intelligence people served up to Putin what he wanted to hear. That is, when we go into Kiev, we'll be met because the Ukrainians are blood brothers. We speak the same language. We have the same church, says Putin. His intelligence agencies advised him the invading troops would be met with flowers. Well, sure as hell they weren't. Now, let's take some parallels with Xi Jinping. He's got a conscript army, biggest army in the world. Conscripts, like the Russians. Secondly, he's got a corrupt system of acquiring military equipment, just like the Russians. Thirdly, he's got a corrupt and ineffective logistics system, just like the Russians. And in addition, unlike the Russians, the Chinese have not fired a shot in military anger since 1979, when, if you recall, they invaded communist Vietnam to, and I quote, teach Vietnam a lesson. I was deputy head of military intelligence then. We had the call signs of the Chinese military down to company group level. And we saw their 4 divisions come up against a battle-hardened, and we know that only too well from our own experience in Phuoc Tuy province,
Absolutely.
a battle-hardened Vietnamese division, and it was at the best a draw. And now, in addition to all those points,
but I would say, I'd go even further. I'd say, look, here was China. The last war they had was against tiny Vietnam, and really they got beaten, to be honest. They got beaten. And I think you make some excellent points. The point is, are there enough people in China who dare tell the president, the dictator, look at what happened to Putin, don't try the same trick with Taiwan? Paul Dibb, it's a great pleasure to talk to you.